It's big. It's a big town.
Proper?
What?
It's like the size of like...
You're American. And I'm like, yeah, how can you tell? You know what I mean? So
Americans
it's just like,
don't come around these parts.
You don't come around these parts very much, do you? Hey, everybody. We've done it. It is the end of 2020. For us, it's been, I don't know, like a very, just like everybody else, a very weird year. Sitting back and reflecting on some things, hasn't been that bad. Now wait, don't throw spears at me.
I actually feel like the majority of people who are looking back on 2020 feel like it's not that bad. I think there are moments when we were in the thick of things that it felt bad, but then when you actually look back, it wasn't as bad and there was a lot of good, so.
Luckily we got a few things in before this old he who will not be named happened.
Yeah, let's talk about the things that we did get in.
Harry Potter reference, by the way, if you didn't get that.
Let's talk about the things that we did get in and then almost getting locked down in another country.
Yeah, that was awesome. In the next couple of weeks or months.
Well, that next day, so that was Saturday, Sunday we flew home, lockdown happened 2 days later. In Britain 2 days later.
Little did we know that like this blessing of being at home and the kids being home from school was kind of like a blessing in disguise, you know what I mean? The first couple weeks were really optimistic.
I'm looking at it now. We have 2 chore charts and 1 like calendar, like what day it is, seasons, all of that. It lasted 2 days?
No, they were on it for a couple weeks at least.
But I was super motivated. We were like, we got this. We can do this.
I mean, we had to work too at the same time. Like
I could never be more fortunate for both of our jobs.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you'd have anybody that had kids or kind of knew our struggle, you know, Zoom calls became the norm, you know, Hangouts, whatever, Google Hangouts or Skypes became the norm for meetings. Everybody had kids coming in, everybody had dogs barking, everybody had to go get their Amazon deliveries. It became like a normal thing and accepted to like this new normal. And speaking of our new normal video, check that out down below too. Welcome to the new normal. And our London COVID video, check it out too.
Yeah.
If you want to see an empty London, which was bizarre, down below, check it out. It's good stuff. Now this is where it really sets in that London is in quarantine. We are at Buckingham Palace right now. It just kind of happened on the changing of the guards. Normally these gates right here are just lined with people. I mean, it is eerie.
But I will say what resulted after the whole like meetings schedule with the kids at home is Nora began to role play. And when I say role play, I mean I need a headset. This is Nora. She would ignore me. Shh. I'm on a call. Mom, get me some milk. Shh. I'm on a call. Mom.
She would mimic us. She would mimic of what we're saying. So if we're working, we say, Norsh, I'm sorry, baby, I'm on a work call. I can't talk to you right now.
It did make me feel guilty.
Of course it did.
But we were very conscious if they were going to see us working day in and day out, they had to know how much we love our jobs. We are taking these calls, which in their minds is mixing with their lives.
Yeah, I don't care about your call. Play with me.
Which I hated and I felt guilty.
I want to go scoot my scooter.
But if they're going to see us do this and make the sacrifices of not playing with them because we have to do this, I want them to know that we love it. But we have the blessing to say we love what we do and we love our organizations. When COVID hit in end of March, it was really great weather in England and it never gets that cold.
So
we literally went into spring. It was like lockdown happened and it was the most beautiful weather. By the first weekend of May, we were in a baby pool out in the street.
Tank top, sandals,
we have a cobblestone street.
Beer.
Cobblestone street, baby pool, kids, beers.
Literally would end the work, like end my last work call of the day. grab a beer from my fridge, and walk outside and meet everybody else.
Because
out there.
at that time,
it's just so nice.
Days we did that with Scott, Michelle, and their kids, and we said the pool's out, come down. The neighbors would come down, and we would have camp chairs outside, lounge chairs, like we were at the beach, but we weren't. And we would be sitting 6 feet apart.
Yeah. We were doing what we could just to maintain a sense of normalcy, which I think is what everyone was just needing, because no one knew how to deal with this. This is the first time we've ever had to deal with something like this, so gnarly.
Positive was the pool, the baby pool with our friends outside in the central London, and you had people walk by laughing like you're making the best out of a bad situation, because that's all we could.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway from this is like, we work so much, and either you're dropping your kids off for a school run in the morning, picking them up in the daytime, you're missing that 9 hours of day, but you get to have so much time back with your kids and as a family unit, and you got to like really figure out who your kids are, because when they're away, I'm speaking to parents here. When you're like a parent teacher conference or like at a school thing, and your teacher says like, "Hey, your kid is so into this," and you're like, "Oh, I had no idea." Now I get to see it. I get to see like Nora and Abel like into stuff and how good they are like coloring or reading, or like how athletic Nora is, or how like how smart Abel is. And Abe had a COVID birthday.
Yeah, so
turned 5.
Batman favors, Batman everything, and Abel loved it. Nora they both had shirts that said their names.
But then lockdown
So then that was June, and then
lifted, and then
summer lifted. By September, school started again.
By that point, we already had one trip canceled, which was Cyprus.
Oh.
And I don't even talk about it. Like, this resort we're going to be at was just amazing.
I would say this is one of the beautiful things about COVID is we realized we could only travel within the UK. We're on an island. We are 1 hour from the coast. Oh, okay. Brighton. It's a beautiful ocean. How long is the train ride there? 45 minutes?
45 minutes.
Things started to keep opening. We planned our next trip, which we had, again, the 2 weeks that we had planned off in August. We booked, because we could only stay in the UK, and we wanted it to be somewhere nice and sunny, was the Isle of Wight, which we knew had sandy beaches. So. Yeah. So one of our first trips out of lockdown was to take the kids to Legoland. And it was great because the weather was fine. It was all outdoors. We could completely mask, social distance, but we had to plan pretty far in advance because the tickets, they were really monitoring how many tickets were sold. So the park, it was really, really safe.
And luckily, we were able to stay in the Ninjago themed room.
So this is the other reason why
Abel think we're the best parents in the world.
We get minimal birthday presents.
So thank you, Legoland. broke his arm.
Oh my God.
Abel broke his arm.
No, there's two things. We had two emergencies.
Abel's swinging on a swing at the park, and so he was him and I were playing ping pong. So this is how quick it happens. I'm sure parents can relate. We're playing ping pong, table tennis in the park. He sees a few friends. I go see other friends. I'm sitting down on the grass. No lie, within 3 minutes of me sitting down, he comes walking up to me like, "Daddy, I fell off the swing." I'm like, "Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry." I look at his arm. It's swollen. It's like a little, it's broke. I can tell it's broke. I've had enough broken bones in my life to know that his arm was broke.
I come in, and Andy looks at me. You are really calm, and you go, "Sarah, I think we need to go to the emergency room." And I'm like, "What happened?" And I see Abel, and he goes, "I think Abel's arm is broken." And Abel looks at me. He's like, we get to A&E. We were seen within 10 minutes. Broken arm, casted within 1 hour. The whole time, by the time I walked to the hospital, by the time we left, with a cast, 1 hour.
Yeah.
And then we were home before Andy even got home from the park.
More of the story, thank you NHS for all of this. Not just our kid's broken arm, but this whole thing, amazing.
Yeah.
But for Nora's birthday, we ended up going to Sabibi's Land. And Sabibi's Land is home of like an array of characters.
Some people might not know what Sabibi's Land is.
I know, it's like the Nickelodeon of...
Like through the BBC. So like what Sesame Street would have been on in the US,
PBS.
what was that, PBS?
But Sabibi's has like an array of cartoons, and it's like, Go Jetters,
Octonauts, you know, in the States.
Yeah, Octonauts. God, our kids love Octonauts. We sit in Octonauts themed room, another themed room. Which is amazing, and this is the most social distance place we've been. I mean, it's the way the lines are worked out, the way you order your drinks and food in the hotel. Amazing.
That was by far
amazing.
The second part of it's Halloween weekend, which is Nora's birthday.
Scarefest.
So you had Scarefest, which if you guys have been in Cincinnati, if you follow us, Kings Island, great. In the UK, Halloween is just starting to pick up. Scarefest in Sabibi's Land it's not Sabibi's Land. The whole
Alton
park
Towers.
is called Alton Towers.
To the castle.
Alton Towers is not just a theme park. It's a actual castle that is creepy, beautiful. I probably say creepy because we were there during Scarefest.
Alton Towers has like 3 places where it's like, the Sabibi's Land Hotel, the Water Park Hotel, and then the actual hotel. But you walk into this, it looks like this normal hotel, and all of a sudden you go downstairs and it's like opens up to like this array of just this gigantic water park. And then after Nora's little birthday jaunt at Baby's Land, we ended up going to Tewksbury. Thank you, baby girl. That for me was amazing because I am the biggest fan of like the Wars of the Roses time in history, and a major battle happened at Tewksbury Abbey and the whole Tewksbury region. But I mean, Tewksbury it's not a small Cotswolds town. It's a pretty proper town. Overall, 2020 has been crap, but a lot of good has come out of it as well, right? I mean, we've come closer as a family.
We've seen way more of the UK because,
that's right. Yeah.
And you know what? And I don't know why we had done this in the previous years that we've been in the UK. We just keep going to different countries because there's an appeal to checking a bunch of countries or getting passport stamps. And I really feel blessed that it has made us stop and appreciate the UK because, first of all, this is the country that has given us so much opportunity. But the freaking UK is gorgeous. Like,
it really is.
I mean,
from the Jurassic Coast to the Lake District to the Peak District to Edinburgh.
If only they let us drive legally here. So 2021.
I gotta get my license.
Little funny fact: we have U.S. licenses that are
anymore. Mine's just expired.
Mine's still, anyways.
I'm licenseless. To recap our 2020, I mean, we started off on a blast. We went to, Nice, Carnival, Monaco, Mediterranean, as great. We started off on fire. Hit Quarryfield Farm, which was in Sligo, and went to Galway, all over, the northwest coast of Ireland. And then COVID hit. And we had good times in the park with friends, and we kind of hung out in our mews and all that good stuff. Had to homeschool.
And we had to see the UK.
We got to see the UK, and then we ended up going, to Brighton, which we've never been. We went to Legoland. We went to Isle of Wight, Baby's Land, Tewksbury, which has been amazing. Tewksbury.
That's
so I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. We didn't get to go to these exotic places we wanted to go, but whatever. We'll get there next year, and we hope you do too. So you know what? Goodbye, 2020. Thanks for following along. We love ya. And here's to a better year next year.
Ow. That's a lot of talking.